faithfully conveying value, exploring great books worldwide. Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today we're diving into Amoeba Management by Inamori Kazuo, often revered as Japan's sage of management. In the last century, he founded and managed Kyocera Corporation and KDDI, both becoming Fortune 500 companies. In 2010, Inamori took over bankrupt Japan Airlines. Within just 10 months, he turned losses into 150 billion yen profits, JL's highest ever, and the global aviation industry's best that year. Recently, Inamori has gained popularity among Chinese entrepreneurs who formed a study group called Shanghai Shu. The term Shu refers to a private academy dedicated to studying Inamori's management philosophy. Inamori's core methodology is amoeba management, the title of today's book. So, what exactly is an amoeba? Originally a Latin term describing shape-shifting microorganisms, Inamori divides companies into micro teams. These are his organizational amoebas. Amoeba management centers around these teams for planning, using unique systems to energize all employees in collective operations. Over 500 companies worldwide have adopted this model with measurable performance improvements. Inamori states, Amoeba management is my life's work in business philosophy. The essence of this book will explore three key aspects. 1, origins of amoeba management. 2, 3 core benefits and implementation. 3, common challenges and solutions. Let's start with the origins of amoeba management. Inamori began his entrepreneurial journey in the late 1950s. While typical startup goals might include first profits or financial freedom, Inamori's founding mission was unique, pursuing material and spiritual fulfillment for all employees while contributing to societal progress. Does that sound a bit exaggerated? That Inamori believed without this philosophy, his enterprise would lack purpose. Moreover, this philosophy needed adoption by every employee, not just himself. Only with shared ideals could employees fully commit without reservations. Initially thriving, the company grew from 20 to over 300 employees. As expansion continued, Inamori found management increasingly challenging. Managing 100 people alone proved inefficient and exhausting. He theorized managing 20-person units would be more effective. Thus emerged amoeba teams, micro units of dozens. How small could they be? Is smaller always better? What principles guide their division? Inamori established 3 criteria. 1, each amoeba must have measurable income or expenses for independent accounting. 2, each unit must handle complete business processes. Size matters less than functional independence. 3, division must align with corporate objectives and policies. If an amoeba thrives at others' expense, it shouldn't exist. These principles formed amoeba management's foundation. This operational model emerged from Inamori's entrepreneurial journey. Beyond management ease, what benefits does it offer enterprises? Inamori highlighted 3 key advantages. 1, departmental accounting systems, keeping all units market connected. Production departments maintain direct market awareness. 2, develops management-savvy talent for corporate growth. 3, strengthens employee cohesion and business acumen through company-wide operational participation. These 3 pillars form amoeba management's essence, the cornerstone of corporate success. Now, let's explore how amoeba management achieves these benefits through its operational mechanisms. First, understanding the departmental accounting system. Inamori's amoeba teams differ fundamentally from traditional departments through their independent accounting, tracking costs and revenues autonomously. Essentially, the corporation comprises semi-autonomous mini-companies rather than conventional departments. Traditional manufacturing divisions typically ignore sales aspects. While wanting corporate profits, they focus solely on production quality. This isolation prevents production teams from sensing market pressures or participating in operations. The new system creates internal market dynamics through inter-amoeba transactions. Example workflow. Department A sells components to Department B. which assembles products for Department C's sales. Inamori terms this internal trading mechanism corporate internal transactions. Through this chain, market pressures and demands transmit to all amoebas. Even upstream production units become market connected. This constitutes amoeba management's first benefit: market-aligned departments. Market fluctuations immediately affect all units through this system. Downstream units can reject overpriced or substandard products from upstream, naturally controlling costs while ensuring quality standards. Now let's examine the second benefit: developing management conscious talent. As we've learned, amoeba management enables independent accounting for each unit while facilitating internal corporate trading. This transforms team leaders managing a dozen members into micro CEOs, boosting ownership, motivation, and management skills. These leaders are formally designated as amoeba leaders by Inamori. Imagine an amoeba leader previously being just a skilled workshop supervisor with technical expertise. Now they manage labor costs through payroll, material costs via upstream procurement, and market dynamics through downstream sales. To increase team earnings, they must optimize efficiency and employee engagement. Through this process, business-savvy talents get cultivated organically. With this talent pipeline, companies avoid management shortages during expansion, solving Inamori's historical challenge. This constitutes amoeba management's second major benefit. Now let's examine the third benefit: enhanced cohesion through Zemir Finance Indem, whole team participation. Inamori states, under amoeba management, employers and employees become partners respecting mutual rights and needs. Employees should collaborate with leadership on corporate interests. Inamori observed most leaders hide operational realities, suppressing bad news to maintain stability, and downplaying successes to prevent salary demands. This opacity breeds distrust and labor disputes instead of collaboration. Therefore, Inamori mandated full operational transparency, the foundation for boosting engagement through amoeba management. To achieve this transparency while making accounting accessible to non-financial staff, Inamori developed a unit time accounting sheet. What exactly is unit time accounting? This is Inamori's innovative system calculating each amoeba's productivity. The calculation works like this. First, determine each amoeba's income and expenses. Subtracting expenses from income gives added value, numerator. Total registered work hours from the denominator. Dividing added value by total labor hours yields value created per hour, unit time accounting's core metric. This transparent system publishes each department's profits, costs, and hourly value creation. Employees track their cost efficiency through these reports, aiding both executives and frontline staff. Daily morning meetings share operational data company-wide, achieving true transparency. This system embodies amoeba management's essence: maximize sales, minimize costs. They're not an accountant. Inamori bypassed complex jargon to focus on business fundamentals. The simple principle: higher sales, lower costs, ensures profits while being employee-friendly. Shared understanding fosters company-wide alignment. Amoeba management's third key benefit. With this, we've covered amoeba management's operational framework. Through transparency, independent units, and internal markets, this model creates market-driven GILE organization while developing management talent and uniquely effective system. However, this model isn't flawless and faces challenges. Next, we'll examine two major challenges in amoeba management. First issue: internal conflicts between amoebas emerge naturally with corporate marketization. Profit-driven independent units inevitably clash. Large corporations may contain hundreds of amoebas. Coordinating conflicts becomes overwhelming. Example: Amoeba A sells components to Amoeba B at high prices, causing production delays affecting Amoeba C's sales. If Amoeba B accepts overpriced parts and transfers costs downstream, either Amoeba C raises prices, risking market rejection, or absorbs losses. Both outcomes disastrous. Such conflicts ultimately destabilize operations and corporate cohesion. Objectively speaking, this constitutes a critical systemic risk. Unchecked autonomy turns corporations into fragmented entities. Inamori proposed three solutions, starting with what Inamori calls management philosophy. This philosophy manifests as altruistic corporate culture. Employees must constantly self-question, as ethical professionals, is this action justified? From hiring to operations, Kyocera emphasizes moral integrity above all else. Case example, Kyocera's U.S. sales team secured orders, but production failures caused delivery delays. Sales staff apologized to clients, with one blaming production. It's their fault for accepting impossible orders. They took orders beyond their capacity, causing breach of contract. Inamori severely reprimanded this salesman. He stated, while production miscalculated capabilities, blaming colleagues damages client trust in our entire organization. Who would buy from us with such internal distrust? Protecting corporate integrity forms Inamori's cultural cornerstone. Second solution, leadership intervention in amoeba conflicts. Inamori's approach, escalate to senior executives. Note, this excludes frontline amoeba leaders, referring to top-tier management. This necessitates rigorous executive selection criteria. Leaders must embody integrity, decisiveness, market acumen, and operational expertise. Such leadership prevents and resolves inter-amoeba disputes effectively. Third solution, adaptive institutional mechanisms. These aren't rigid policies, but flexible yet binding measures. Example, sales demands, low pricing versus production's high targets. How to mediate? Inamori's answer, implement commission systems, compensating conciliatory parties. Post-sale, 10% revenue could compensate Amoeba A, balancing collective versus individual gains. Second systemic issue, compensation workload imbalance. Internal transactions significantly increase operational complexity. Amoeba leaders shoulder management responsibilities while maintaining operational transparency. Does implementing Amoeba management necessarily mean pay raises and increased operational costs with higher workloads? This would violate the core principle of maximizing sales while minimizing costs. Without compensation adjustments, why would employees accept increased responsibilities? Inamori strongly opposes performance-based pay systems with drastic compensation fluctuations. He believes monetary incentives only yield short-term results. Long-term performance fluctuations inevitably create dissatisfaction when pay decreases. This approach also fosters workplace resentment and jealousy. Inamori advocates cultural conditioning for long-term employee commitment. Exceptional work brings gradual rewards and job security rather than immediate bonuses. Recapping Amoeba management's two key challenges. 1. Internal conflicts from marketized units. 2. Workload compensation imbalance. 3 solutions for the first issue. Altruistic philosophy, ethical leadership, flexible systems. For compensation, reject performance metrics, embrace steady career progression. We've now covered Amoeba management's origins, mechanisms, challenges, and solutions. These constitute the system's foundational principles. Interested practitioners can now begin implementation. However, Inamori emphasizes adapting the system contextually rather than rigid duplication. He provides 5 adaptation guidelines. 1. Align with corporate philosophy and values. 2. Root decisions in operational realities. 3. Accurately reflect business conditions. 4. Maintain implementation consistency. 5. Ensure company-wide fairness. Standards reflecting Inamori's ideal corporate systems. This concludes our analysis of Amoeba management. Listening notes are available below the audio. See you tomorrow.